Hello and welcome back to this week's top 10 plants for your plant area from Bransford Webs. This week you're joining me on a section of the nursery called Post Office. Some seriously long tunnels on here. You can see behind me we've got some of our Echinacea crop, which will be ready at the end of July and into August. This has been potted for a week or two now. But before that, this was full of herbaceous, so our Polemonium collection was growing in here. That sold through and we filled back up with this Echinacea mood series. So yeah, we'll keep you informed on that as that progresses over the next coming months. We've got a bank holiday just around the corner, and although while we're filming this it's a little bit grey still and it's still a little bit showery, it does look like as the week progresses we've got some nicer weather on the way and some really nice warm temperatures. So hopefully we've got a barbecue weekend ahead. People will be out decorating their gardens, getting lots of colour in there, and you'll all have a busy one in the garden centres. But we're looking ahead to the week after the bank holiday, and hopefully when there's lots of space after those sales, you'll be looking for some of this stock. So I'm going to start off this week with our hero plant, as we do every week. And this is Lonicera Scentsation. It's one of the few climbers we grow. And the reason we grow it is because it was discovered by one of our previous colleagues here at Bransford Webs. But it's just a fantastic, fantastic garden plant. It's so scented. You walk within 100 metres of the tunnel of this where this is growing and you can just smell just drifts through the air on a breezy day like this. It's really easy to grow, it's quite vigorous, it will cover a fence or a wall or an archway in no time at all and cover itself in these lovely lemony yellow flowers. And what you can't see in this, once those flowers are finished, although you'll get a second flush again later in the year, once they finish you get lovely bright red seed heads on there, which are really vibrant colour as well. So you've got two attributes with that, where it'll sell on both aspects. It's a fantastic plant, easy to grow, adds scent, colour and height to any garden. While we're talking about adding height, we've also got online now our miniature climbing roses collection. So we've got 6 varieties. All these have been selected to grow in smaller gardens, on patios, in pots, or just up a short wall or obelisk in the garden. They're online now, they are budded up, so you can see the first buds are in there. So with the temperatures we've got forecast, I think they'll be showing colour by the time they hit garden centres. Top of the cane, or 3 tripod, looking really nice. I say 6 in the collection with those, so do check out the full availability online now if you want some early rose colour. I'll stick with more of a shrubby line for the time being, and we have got Hydrangea Fairy Trails. So we've got Chelsea just around the corner, and the Hydrangea Fairy Trails White was actually shortlisted for the top 10 in the new plants last year. This is green. We've got both white and green online. I really like the green. I know green flowers aren't for everyone, but I really like it in this hydrangea. I grew it in a pot on my patio last summer. It performed really well. It held the flowers for a really long period of time, looked after itself, and was a no nonsense, no hassle plant. So Fairy Trails, it's from the Proven Winners stable, and it will cascade over the side, so it lends itself to being in a container really, where you can get that sort of trailing habit to it over the sides, which it'll just start doing as these flowers form. So we've got both white and green online, loads of bud and loads of flowers showing too. So we'll move on now to some herbaceous, and the first going to feature is actually the first of 2 foxgloves. This is digitised Lucas Silvery. So the Lucas series has been around for about 7 or 8 years now, and it's a really nice form of foxglove because it forms multiple flower spikes from the same plant. As you can see, it's a really chunky plant, and the flowers will flower quite compact, about 2 foot high. There's light pink, dark pink, and there's a white in the series, but the silvery one is sort of in the mid-range of that flower colour, but it's got the silvery foliage, so it really stands out against the darker foliage of the other ones, and just nice in a shady sort of part of the garden, but it'll just lift it from the base along with the colour. And actually another one we've got online that's got paler coloured foliage is Apple Blossom. So this was launched at the National Plant Show in 2020, let me guess right, 2024. So and it actually won Best New Plant. It is fantastic. If you just look at the picture on there, you can see the individual flowers are like orchid flowers. It really is different. It's a delicate flower all the way down. The flower spikes there, really nice sort of pale green foliage too. It's an absolute winner, and that's out in garden centres right now, and the second batch, which is just in the tunnel behind me, is about to go online. And then with a bit more colour, herbaceous colour, and a nice white flower is our Salvia salifrons. So these are Farina type salvias. We've got blue and white flowers. As you can see, loads of stems coming up there, loads of flowers coming up on each flower spike. This one has a lovely pure white flower that holds for a really long time. Good in the border, even better in a pot on the patio when you're having that barbecue. Something else that fits that sort of thing is the window is a hardy fuchsia. So we're on to our last batch of these now. So please check out the availability, but please, if you want them, grab them before they go. They've been absolutely flying out. When stock's gone online on a Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning over the last few weeks, these are sold out by Tuesday lunchtime every single week. So this is the last batch. We've got about 8 varieties online, all propagated here at Bransford Webs. The number of trims they get as a young plant just helps them produce that really solid, stocky plant. And the buds are just forming on there too. So that's our hardy fuchsia collection. One thing that's really standing out in the nursery at the moment is this that people are really loving. And this is actually more advanced than most, and most are still at bud stage, but this is Clematis Darcy. So it's bred by Raymond Everson, who's going to feature heavily, I'm sure, at Chelsea in the coming weeks. But it's part of his Tudor series, along with Bijou, Filigree, and Paulie, all of which are online and looking great at the moment. But these aren't climbing clematis, they're mound forming. So again, great in a container, great at the front of the border. If you've just got a patio or balcony garden, they're ideal for that. You can grow clematis, and they do well in a pot, which some clematis don't like to be grown in. So just check that out. Massive, bright, vibrant flower, and nice, compact, rounded plant. And what you tend to find is you'll get a flush of these now in sort of May, June. Give them a trim back once they've finished. And then if we get a good summer, you get another flush of flower again in September. Hebes have been offline for a few weeks now, but we're now back online with the start of our summer drink series. So this is a range that was bred by Bransford Webs and has been on the market for 10, 12 years. And these varieties were selected for their flower power. They are absolutely loaded in flower. So it's just pink fizz online this week. But as Sarah zooms in there, you can see the amount of bud on there. And again, with the warmer temperatures, that's going to be showing colour by the time this arrives in garden centres next week. It's absolutely loaded in colour. It almost looks like a cloud of pink when it flowers as that comes through. So that's, we called it Budley then. That's Hebe Pink Fizz. And then the last thing for this week is a plant I really like, and we introduced about 4 or 5 years ago now, after we found it at some flower trials over in Holland. So this is the Strawberry Summer Breeze series. There's 3 colours in the range. There's this one, which is cherry. There's also rose, and there is white as well. So you've got deep pink, a red, and a white in the range. Now, to me, the flowers are almost like a little geum flower, and you can see the amount of bud around there, and it's just going to keep pushing flowers up all summer long. As long as you feed and water it, look after it, it will keep going. So you've got the attractive flower on there, but then you've also got edible fruit. So it produces a normal sort of average strawberry sized fruit that looks really good. Again, great in the border, front of the border for a bit of colour, or great in a pot on the patio, or even if you want to make your veg plot or your edibles garden look a little bit more ornamental. You get everything with that. You get a nice plant, easy to look after, great flower colour, and edible crop at the end of it too. So that's this week's top 10 plants from Bransford Webs. Join us next week. Hope you have all of a great bank holiday weekend, and we'll see you next week for another top 10 plants. Goodbye for now.